The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, as the summer months get hotter, your electricity bill is rising to match. That idea is vexing for a number of you. Well, we have the chairman of BPL here this evening to talk about why those bills are higher this summer after the promise by BPL that you should expect lower electricity bills. Well, we'll talk about that. Don't mix me up. The words of opposition leader Michael Pintard in response to the Junkanoo saga that continues to go on. We'll tell you where that saga stands now. Also tonight, outgoing Immigration Director William Pratt says he did his job and he did it well, and that no union should dictate who sits at the top in immigration. It's all straight ahead for you this evening. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. It's also Weekend Review Friday, so we will get to some of those stories that had your attention this week. Well, topping tonight, Bahamas Power and Light consumers are vexed and overwhelmed over their electricity bills. You've heard us talk about it all week. Some are reporting sharp increases that has left their households struggling, buckling in fact, under the weight to keep up. Residents are demanding answers from the Bahamas Power and Light, as many say the surge in rates has become too much to bear. Well, this evening, I'm happy to have, I promised you this since last evening. In fact, I'll tell you, I reached out to the minister, because I'm like, Minister JoBeth Colby Davis, ma'am, hi. If you can spare a minute, because she's out of the country, and thankfully she did return my call. Why are the bills so high? People are complaining. People are saying, where's the promise for lower bills? What can they do? And they said, many people are saying, my habits are the same. I've done nothing different. Yet, why is this bill showing something, what it's showing now? And she said, Shanique, and that's the issue right there. In the peak of summer, in one of the hottest summers on record, their habits have not changed. Well, we're going to speak with Christina Alston, chairman of BPL. Christina, of course, you know her record. She has worked extensively around the United States at a number of the major electricity providers. And in fact, she is always in touch as they continue the energy reform here in the country with what's happening in those other jurisdictions as well. So she is well able to speak to us this evening about what's going on, why, and how long is this going to last. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Christina, it's good to have you here. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me here. And thank you for giving us this opportunity to kind of talk about the rise in electricity costs. You said something that was really important, is that people's bills are rising, but they haven't changed their habits. And so there's a few points here that I think are really important for us to discuss. So one, I brought lots of little forms and data, but I wanted to look at my individual consumption. I'm a residential consumer, just like you, and I wanted to see exactly how my bill was affected. And so I went and looked at my bill from last summer to this summer. And so I'm going to give you some facts and figures. So let's get into it. So one of the things is my effective rate for this year, for this month in June, was 29.76 cents per kilowatt hour. When I looked at last year, that rate was actually 37.67 cents per kilowatt hour. So the bill for how much each individual kWh is costing went down significantly for all of us.
For all of us, kWh,
kilowatt hours.
Okay.
Right. So equivalent to, say, like a gallon of gas.
Right.
Okay, so you look at a gallon of gas. And so what was really interesting was I could see very clearly the effect of the equity rate adjustment, the ERA, on my bill. I could clearly see it. The first 200 kilowatt hours, there was no
Now,
charge.
Chairman, you don't get no special treatment because
No.
you're the chairman.
Everybody, it's on everybody's bill.
So everybody.
Everybody got that.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing was last year, my fuel consumption below 800 kWh and above 800 kWh was exactly the same. But this year, I actually paid less for my energy below 800 kWh, which was exactly what we had anticipated happening under the ERA. So that was 2 points that I wanted to make sure, because in building consumer confidence, I got to be able to sit here with you
Right, and
and
say-
explain. And if these were Shanique's bills, I'd be able to do the same thing with my little calculator.
So then
and
why is the average person, because I'll tell you, one of my panelists coming up later, Leslie Miller, said last week, and he was proud to say before that, he paid a few $100s, still a lot, but last month he paid $1,200. So why is the average consumer then experiencing that?
So that's a great question. So one of the things that I did last year that I really thought I needed to do, because my bills were going up, was I needed to look at my home and think about my home as an investment in terms of how much it's costing me as well. And so I started implementing energy conservation measures in my home. So what did I do? Okay, so let's talk about what I did, and then let's talk about the impact. Okay, so one of the first things that I did was I installed insulation in my attic. So my kitchen area was extremely hot. It was like an oven. I mean, my fridge was sweating. The fridge never cycled.
To explain to people what sweating is, because when
So-
they notice it, maybe they would understand that that's
So that's when you
more
get like
electricity.
condensation, when you get water on the outside, like when you open your fridge and it's dripping on the inside.
Yes.
Okay, that means your fridge is working too hard.
And
because
that's pulling that.
right. And so it's almost like, I equate it to an asthmatic, or it's like if you put your hands over your face and you're trying to breathe through your hands, that's what your fridge is trying to do when it's not, when the vents underneath are not clean. And that means that it's using a lot more electricity. So one of the things that I did was I insulated my attic space. I also installed a solar attic fan. So I have a little solar attic fan on the top of my roof, and I have soffits that I had them cut into my patio. And so what happens is it allows for really good airflow. And so all of that air blanket that used to be in my attic space now comes out.
sort of trapped,
That it was trapped. It was like an oven. And so
which worked your air conditioning and refrigerator and whatever else hotter.
that's exactly right. And not only that, but there was a 5-degree difference between my kitchen area where the attic was and my living room space where there was a vaulted ceiling. It was like you could feel how hot it was going from my kitchen into this other part of the house. And now the whole house is the same temperature.
Now, of course, Christina, I'd like to say this. I, in preparation for this interview, because I'll tell you this was an outrage this week in Parliament and just all over. And so I spoke with many family and friends in the United States who said their power companies say, listen, it will be hotter this summer.
That's right.
And even in traditional areas, it'll be hotter. Your bills will go up. But if you do some smart things, you are not likely to experience that sharp spike that you're trying to avoid. So how can we here kind of implement many of these things?
So let's start with the hotter. Let's verify that it was hotter, okay? Because I mean, I think when people say that, they may not have the data to back it up. So I went and got the data. Okay. So last June, we had, so the average temperature for us in June, that was just like if you looked at all the hours, our average temperature is baselined at 88 degrees. And last June, we had 9 days that were at or below the average. This June, we only had 2 days.
Wow.
That means that we had 7 days more this year than last year. So what does that mean? That means that 25% of the time, it was hotter than last year. That's huge for us, especially in a climate where we're relying on air conditioning, or we're relying on cooling for either air conditioning, we're relying on cooling for the refrigerator. How many of us have a deep freezer and have boxes around our deep freezer? Well, our deep freezer can't breathe. Or we keep the deep freezer outside in the hottest part of the house. Or the deep freezer is not full. If the deep freezer is not full, it's not at its most efficient. So when you talk about what others are doing, they may not have deep freezers, but here in the Bahamas, most of us have a deep freezer. Keeping that deep freezer debris free. Make sure there's not things around
Nothing
it.
around
Make
it.
sure that it's breathing properly, that air is being circulated through that. Making sure that it stays completely full. Because if the deep freezer is only 50% full, then it's only 50%. You're not getting the maximum value that you are out of your deep freezer.
And that's also pulling
That's
the
exactly
extra
right.
current.
So when you say, what can the average person do? Well, the average person can, when you leave home, either increase the temperature that for your air conditioning unit. Most of the time they recommend anywhere from 80 to 82 degrees. Don't leave your AC on if you're not home.
Wait a minute, Sina, I don't know what you're saying, Chairman. The reason is people have said, and I know we always talk with people, and they say, if you leave your air conditioning on, say around 80 degrees, 70s, high 70s throughout the day, you're good. You're not paying this exorbitant fees.
No. Because I think the concept that people have, do you believe that if you want it to be cold in your house, it gets cooler quicker if you put your AC on 68 degrees?
I sort of believe it.
No. Temperature change only happens over time. Meaning if you're at 74 degrees, you're only going to get to 73 degrees in the same amount of time that it takes from 73 to 72. It does not get cooler quicker. I mean, those are the laws of thermodynamics. It does not get cooler quicker. And so one of the things that we talk about is getting heat out of your house. So I have an attic fan. You may decide, if you get in your car and your car is hot, you roll the windows down before you turn on the AC.
You're right, to let that air out.
Yeah, so why wouldn't you put the same concepts on your house? Because all you're doing is just cooling hot air. The other thing I do is I don't dry my clothes while I'm in there doing stuff, because the dryer is just putting hot air into my kitchen. So
you're saying the dryer on, you're in there cooking in the kitchen.
And then I got the AC on.
And you got the AC on.
Right.
Again, you're pulling more and
right,
more.
Exactly.
So you must plan
yes, you have
when you're
to
going to do certain things.
That's exactly right. And I do. Another example would be like a cake. Like we talked about it getting cooler quicker. If you're baking a cake, you're not going to put it in a 500-degree oven thinking, oh, it's going to cook faster.
It wouldn't?
No, it's going to burn.
That's
the outside will be burnt, the inside will be not cooked.
Not cooked.
Right. So you make decisions. You've planned for that. So what you do, you walk in, you set the temperature to 325, you know the cake going to take 50 minutes, and you're patient enough to wait for the cake to cook properly. The AC is no different. You come in, you put this AC on whatever temperature you want, not 68 degrees, but you put it on 72, and you let it get there. Another thing is we talk about is the deep freezer, but the other one is the hot water tank.
The hot water heater.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, what is the issue with that?
So there's a few issues here. So one of the things is you are heating up all of this water just in case you want to take a shower. Yes. You're heating up 35, 45 gallons of water just in case you want to take a shower. Not just in time, but just in case I want. So a lot of people.
So for all those hours in between, that's running.
Yeah.
And that's also a major pull.
That's right.
Oh,
that's
wow.
exactly right. Because
I hope you all are listening
there's
to this
an element in there.
Because what the chairman is speaking about tonight, we all know everybody was vexed, from social media to parliament to everywhere else, talking about the fact that, oh my God, they promised lower bills this summer, and it's just the opposite. But are you listening? And I'm telling you this, I have it in my phone from several people from various parts of the United States, Arkansas, Texas, Florida, many, many places, where their electricity supplier have said to them, here's what we're going to do. Did BPL do anything like this?
So we have it on our website on conservation tips.
Oh, it's on the website.
Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of traffic actually
No, we
moves
don't.
to the
We don't go to the
paper.
website. No, ma'am. No, we don't.
But let's be honest. I think we could have done a much better job getting the information out in a much more timely fashion. But when you're sitting here and you're looking at 25% hotter days or hotter time, that tells you right away that your energy costs are going to go up.
So it's nothing you all are doing that have this bill higher. It's basic, again, consumption.
It's
consumption.
what
and then our habits.
Absolutely consumption. So for myself, when I look at the effective cost of energy, meaning what I paid last year compared to what I paid this year, my bill was down like 20%. And that was BPL's side. The rest of it was my side. Mm-hmm. So when I look at the 34.5%, and that's one thing that when you get your bill and you look at your bill, BPL actually has calculated for you
Hold it up so they can see for real you looking at the bill, because I tell you, this another thing.
This my bill.
No, we ain't a zoom in. Just let them see, right? You all see it, right? The reason is, look a chance being Tropsy foot coming real tight. But let me tell you about what's going on. Because people say, Ken, Jesus, do you need a master's degree to understand BPL's bill?
So I think listen, we talk about this. We are electrical engineers. You were not invited when you were off getting your education.
Yes,
I can assure you were not inviting the engineering students to your party.
No, we weren't.
Okay.
No.
All right. So we speak a language that sometimes is difficult for others to understand, and so part of my challenge is making sure that you and I can have a constructive conversation without it seeming like I don't know what she said. So when I looked at the bill, one of the first things I do is there's a graph right there that says, here's your 12-month electricity consumption. I look at this every month. And what it tells me is I want to look at the ebb and flow of how I am doing, because I have initiated things in my house. My teenage daughter was here with her friends for a week, and the first thing I said was, hey, don't be up in here using up all my electricity while you're here. When you leave the room, turn off the light. When you're not in the room, turn off the air conditioning.
And those are the habits that you have implemented in your household.
That's
don't
exactly.
leave lights
Don't leave lights on.
Whatnot.
No, don't. And one of the things that I used to think this as well, and someone finally broke it down to me, is a lot of times people will leave a room and leave the ceiling fans on. And ceiling fans are actually an evaporative cooling, which means it makes your skin feel cooler. So if I'm not in the room, who is it making feel cooler? Zelda, my dog? I mean, she don't care. But it does move air for you. So you may say, well, I like it. I want to use it so that the air is circulating.
Kinda,
right.
Yeah.
So, but don't use it to say, it's keeping me cooler if you're not even in the room. So those are some of the things that you have to do.
How about fans and you mentioned keeping the air conditioning vents clean, the vents of the refrigerator. How about fans and the blades of fans?
Yes, because if the fan blade has dust on it, it's heavier, meaning that the motor is taking more energy to move those blades around. I mean, you're exactly right. So what we're talking about here is two things. We're talking about maintenance, and we're talking about energy consumption, and how your maintenance is a direct reflection on your energy consumption. And the other part that you keyed in on is planning. I plan to do certain things around my house. I don't do my laundry in the middle of a Saturday morning if I'm going to be in there cooking, because I don't want and it seems like the habit is like, well, it's Saturday morning. I want to cook and clean and everything. Yeah. One of the things I thought was so fascinating is Ontario Hydro had set up a time of use rate, and any energy after 11 p.m. was free. And so you had all of these elderly people washing their clothes at midnight because they wanted that cheaper energy. Now, I don't know if they still have the time of use rate, but it was interesting how people changed their habits in order to take advantage of a lower rate.
Yeah.
And so those are some of the things that I think are really important.
Can you explain this thing that also is a concern and also confusion for Bahamians, the fuel surcharge?
Right.
That's been a confusing thing that we don't understand. Again, we're not engineers. We're just simple, everyday people. People are saying they are paying triple the amount of fuel surcharge versus the bill.
So the fuel surcharge is a pass-through to the consumer. So it's what BPL has to pay for fuel. And so you will see that change. But right now, remember, we came up from the ministry that says the fuel surcharge is stable right now until October, when we know that the LNG is going to be coming online. And so your fuel surcharge actually is, again, based on your consumption in kWh. One of the other things I want to point out to consumers is any bills less than $400 do not pay VAT. And so this month, my bill was less than $400, and so therefore I did not pay VAT on the bill. Yeah. That also goes to your effective rate. So when I looked at my bill last year, I paid $70.97 in VAT. This year I didn't pay VAT because I didn't go over the $400.
Yes.
So BPL as a corporation, we are doing everything that we can in this moment in time to bring these new energy era projects online to reduce the cost to customers. Customers need to meet us to participate in the conversation as well.
Yeah.
And we're being innovative in this space because we're bringing on technologies we've never had before. This is a part of that conversation. How do you implement energy conservation measures in your own home? Putting your AC on 68 degrees thinking that it's going to get cooler quicker does not do it. Not changing your air filters in your air conditioning units, that is not helpful. The same way you change your air conditioning unit, your air filter in your car when your mechanic does it, you need to do that on your other AC units. So thinking about your hot water in terms of just in time or just in case, that's a personal decision. These are all things that contribute to your overall cost of energy. And so I wanted to share with you, because we talked about what's going on in the rest of the world, right? Mm-hmm. So I ran some numbers. So let's get back to my bill. So I used, 1,213 kilowatt hours, 1,213 kilowatt hours. If I lived in New York City this month and I got the bill for 1,213 kilowatt hours, my bill would have been $377. Mm-hmm. My bill here was $361.02. If I lived in Boston, my bill would have been $342. If I lived in Hawaii, this bill would have cost $586. And if I lived in Atlanta, this bill would have been $256. I wanted to say that because I feel like it puts a
lot into perspective. It's showing us then that what's happening as those power companies already gave notice to their customers, this increase in electricity and all the other things that are happening as far as electricity and power generation is concerned seems to be happening everywhere.
It is happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. This industry is going through more change, or has been going through more change in the last 36 months than we probably went through 40 years before that. The customers' demands are larger. We're seeing large commercial customers come online in terms of data centers and bitcoins and things like that. Consumption is at an all-time high, but also we're seeing a lot more outages. We're seeing outages we've never seen before.
I was going to ask
we
you
had
about
outages in New York.
States,
we had outages in Louisiana. Spain lost the entire country of Spain went out for 24 hours and took Portugal with it and the south of France. I mean, we are seeing things that we've never seen before. What we are doing at BPL is we are making sure that we pay attention to what's happening in other places, and we're looking at what their lessons learned are, and we're trying to make sure that as we go through these programs with the new energy era, that we take those lessons learned and look back at us while we're doing things and making sure that we can implement those into what we're doing.
So between now and October, when LNG comes on stream, what is it that you want to say to that Bahamian, that BPL customer out there of what the smart things to be doing right now, and even when LNG comes online?
So the big thing is we recognize we are in a hot summer. That there's no way about it. If June was 25% hotter than it was the previous June, the big things, your air conditioning,
right here you can speak
make
to them.
sure that your AC unit is clean. Make sure that your vents are clean. Think about setbacks. Think about if you're not home, turn it up 80, 82 degrees. Make sure that your vents are clean for your dryer. Make sure that your refrigerator vents are clean. Think about your water heater. Why, do you really need to heat up the whole 40-gallon tank if you really only need it for 1 hour in the evenings? Be conscious and cognizant of your efforts and make a plan for your energy, because that's what I've done.
Very smart, I tell you. A lot of guilty check marks that you were talking about. Just guilty. Thank you very, very much.
Well,
the chairman of BPL, Christina Alston, here this evening, answering your questions and more importantly, passing on some wonderful consumer saving tips, so that those bills that everybody been screaming about last month and this week in particular, that we don't have to do that this month, July, and moving on. Thank you so much, Madam Chairman, for stopping by and for speaking with us this evening.
Thank you for having us once again.
Absolutely. This is Beyond the Headlines. We're going to take a break and come back with more right after this.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. more advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Welcome to Blissful Escapes, where luxury meets affordability. Whether you're seeking relief from aches and pains or simply looking to indulge in some well-deserved pampering, relax and detox in our infrared sauna. Enjoy a soothing Swedish massage or an invigorating exfoliating body scrub. We also provide advanced facial treatments using cutting-edge technology, including hydrofacial, microneedling, and microcurrent therapies, located at the shops of Cable Beach Plaza.
Keisha, one thing with you ain't never have no money. I just sent Miko inside Wendy's just now because Wendy's having their summer promo. Just hot cash, girl. Yes, hot cash. But anyway, we did this one right now. We trying to win this $10,000. And even if you ain't win the $10,000, you can win $2,500 every week. Even if you don't get no ride, Keisha. Anyway, Keisha, I go on Miko Reach. Bye. All you gotta do is upgrade any combo between 1 to 12 to medium or large. And they get this new spicy chicken club sandwich. But I just sent Miko inside there for from June 24th to August 1st. You ain't getting the Wendy's, that's on you. But don't ask me for no money when I win.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. By the way, of course, you know this is a beautiful time to come on board the Beyond the Headlines team and have your business exposed, arrange an interview, and certainly reach a wide audience, an audience all around the country and beyond. Join our wonderful team. We look forward to welcoming you. Reach out to the sales and marketing department and come on board, particularly in this election season. Let's be a wonderful, great, and establish a great relationship. Why don't we? Now, I'll tell you this. I had this is to be week in review and to talk about some things that happened today and, of course, this week. But I have to put a pin right there because Chance just walked in. And Garth showed up late. I was wondering where he was. Leslie and I here waiting. I just got done, as you saw, speaking with the chairman of the BPL, Christina Alston. Garth walked in robed. When you all see this, you will not believe it. I myself am wondering, what is this about? So let's just jump right in. Let me understand what's going on here because I did not tell, none of us decided we were going to dress in costumes today. So let's just go about it now. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Beyond the Headlines contributors, Leslie Miller, Garth Rosborough. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you.
Good evening. Good night, Shanique Miller. It's good to be here once again. Thank you.
Good evening, Bahamas.
It's good to have you both here. Leslie, I have to go straight to Garth because I want to know, Garth is in a full regaled graduation gown, cap, I don't see the tassels, but all that stuff, everything that happens at graduation. Garth, what's happening this evening?
What's happening, Shanique, is I had a very long day yesterday. I actually finished my day at 3 a.m. in the morning. My day today started at 6 a.m. and I've been on the road ever since. But it reminded me of when I was in school. While working last night, I got a communication. Some names were mentioned that we are the type of people in media, and talking to most media people who are presently in the government service at this time, as well as people who are now on standby in media, not involved in government service, that these are the type of people that are all, I use the word all, singing for their supper.
And your name was among the
My
names
name
called?
was amongst those names. So I just wanted them to know who I am, and I do believe I can sing very well, but last time I checked, Shanique Miller, I prepared myself for a banquet.
So wait, if I am understanding correctly, Garth, you were saying that you were made privy to information that in this election season, this
Yes,
is it, right?
the silly season.
The silly season.
Yes.
That you, among others,
Yes.
are singing for your supper or somehow doing the government's bidding?
Yes. Leslie Miller and people like yourself, we're all singing for our supper because...
Oh, they call my name?
Well, you know, you are right down on that list somewhere that they're going to now mention that you're all singing for your supper, that you all are biased, that you all are not fair. And so I just have to let people know that we're talking about supper for those people who know me. A man who works till 3 o'clock in the morning and starts at 6 o'clock, you already know I have my own supper. What I'm looking for in life, however, is a banquet, Shanique Miller, a banquet. And the way the banquet works is this. I started my life going to school in Jamaica. That's called a bachelor's degree, Shanique Miller. That's a 4-year program of sacrifice working 2 jobs in Jamaica that I finished. This same degree right here in 1991. Okay? This one here is a master's degree in divinity. It's 132 graduate credit hours with my name on it. That's actually 2 years of graduate studies, full studies, working 5 jobs and graduating at the same time. My days consisted, Shanique Miller, of only 3 to 4 hours sleep a night. My church was 4 hours away. I would leave for church 4 o'clock in the morning to get there for 8 o'clock and do not return home until 4 o'clock the next morning. And guess what? I had to go to work at 10 o'clock in the morning and cut grass from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. This degree reminded me of that, okay? Here's another singing for your supper situation. I went to Atlanta, to Rye University, Keller Graduate School of Management. This one is called a master's degree in human resources management. I worked 2 jobs while earning this degree. I don't think I was singing for my supper when everyone else was partying and having a good time. Garth Maynard Roseborough was right here, working. 3.60 GPA. Right here working 2 jobs, okay? For those who cannot afford to go to school, life is not afforded you to that, this is what I do. It's called a book. For those who don't know what a book is. I read books. You know what this book says? The Millionaire Next Door, Shanique Miller. If you really want to get ahead in life, you don't sing for suppers. You study, you show yourself approved, and you move forward in life, and that is how you are rewarded. But Shanique Miller, but.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you thought I only did school, I did community service while I was in school, and I helped young boys who were challenged, taken them to Comiskey Park to watch Chicago Cubs games while I was in school with my little $5 and $10, okay? That's what I did while I was in school. See, I don't want to talk about what I do when I sing, but since you think I want to sing for a meal, guess what I got? This is called a fork.
Utensils.
This is called a fork. This is called a knife. This is called a tablespoon, and this is a teaspoon. Let me say something to you. When the supper arrives, I have prepared myself for the banquet. I prepared myself for any banquet. PLP, F&M, COI, bring the meal. And let me leave this with you, Shanique Miller, tonight. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of my enemies, in my haters. Thou anointest me with oil, not water, because water, you can wash that off. With oil, it takes a little longer to come off, eh? With oil and mica. And everyone who knows me in the Bahamas knows one thing with me, I don't have to sing for my supper. I came in with 10 cents in my pocket, and look at me now, okay? Anoints my head with oil, my cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy, Shanique Miller, will follow me. If you're following me, that means I am a leader.
Wow.
All the days of my life. And my only ambition in life is not another house, not another boat, not another truck, not another car. I ain't worried with you in your broke down roads. I got a Jeep Wrangler. I can handle that. I can take care of me. Beekeeping until 3 o'clock in the morning, farming, fishing, whatever it is. I'm available for the service of people like Shanique Miller is, like Leslie Miller is, like everybody who's put themselves here to speak to you, to encourage you, to be a better person and a better country. And all you could say is we singing for our supper. Well, let me sing on, my brother, because I'm ready to eat.
Listen, Leslie, you have a response to that because, you know, it may be a bit funny and bring a smile to your face, but it's really nothing funny about it. And Chance, I know tonight's show took a different turn. We will get in what we can get in, and then we will move on to the last thing in the third segment to lighten up the mood this evening. But Leslie, you have something just very quickly to add to that?
I find it incredible that, you know, there's WhatsApp sites and what have you. I look at them sometimes. They go after everyone that they can go after. Some people are angry, whatever you say about political politicians. They get angry at me, even the fellas in the PFP, more than the F&Ms. You know, you call it for what it is. People in our country are hurting. People are trying to get along better. People are trying to feed their children, to pay their bills, to give the rent man $1,000 for one bedroom house in Fox Hill.
That's correct.
And these are things that we try to look at on this show, along with our lovely lady who has invited us to be a part of her establishment here.
Yes.
And we are happy to be here to try to make a contribution to advance the cause of the average, ordinary Bahamian, the pot cakes, as I'm one of them. I don't understand people getting upset and trying to say mean things about people because they can. And that's one of the dangers with these telephones.
Social media, yeah.
That they can say what they want to say, and you can't do anything about it. So, you know what you are and who you are, and that's enough for me to survive in this country and in this world. I know who I am. I've tried my best in being in politics for over 50 years, trying to make a contribution to my country.
Well, Leslie, let me just
record speak for itself.
Let me just get it in.
And all of us.
Well, yes, you've served. And I'll tell you this. You all have been here with me for years. Leslie, your politics is widely known. You've not hidden that, but you've also not spared the rod when it was time to deal with the political organization that you support. When it comes to me, let it be no guessing game about me. I am here to do your business. I always have been. However you see that, interpret that in this silly season, then that is on you. I will continue to hold the feet of whether it's this administration or the opposition to the fire. Now, what you have seen played out before your eyes, not just now that it's become political season, but now for a couple of years, is what you would perhaps interpret as hits or attacks on the opposition, for example. Well, how would you interpret it when they are making the news for all the wrong reasons? Exactly. When there's one fight after the next. I can't ignore that. I cannot ignore it.
That's correct.
When this, I cannot ignore it, and I will not. When there are fights and little flames or maybe burning infernos happening all over the place, that is what this show is set to do.
Yes.
When you all were complaining that Brave Davis traveled too much, this show addressed it.
I did.
When you all were complaining that, he took too many people to Dubai at the very beginning of his administration, this show addressed it.
That's correct.
Just recently, when you were saying about where's this surplus, this show attempted to bring in, who I thought is a bipartisan person, to address, listen, let's talk about this budget surplus, how that looks, how the budget is a moving document, how that's interpreted, and of course, how you explain what was eventually revealed for April. How does that work out in the overall budget? I will always be middle of the road, but I will always call it as I see it. That's and right. So for you people out there who, when it's in your favor and you're applauding me, and then when I start saying something different and you go and you figure, keep on keeping on. You're the same people who admire the ones in the United States who do it. And they are more blatant than ever with it. When they stand for Trump, they stand for Trump. And everybody else can take a back seat. And I applaud them for whatever it is they're doing. But what it is you will not distract me. I am here to discuss the issues. I am here to continue with the crew that have hung up with me and I can depend on for years. For years. I know one person in their political persuasion and another one who might be offering himself for a political position. And he stands sort of in the middle of that, waiting for that confirmation. But these people have been with me for years. For years. I will not dump and throw them away at this point.
And Shanique, I just want to say quickly, and I'm going to ask you, who is not looking for a better opportunity?
Well, I know I am. I'm looking for an opportunity to get ahead in life but ethically.
Yes.
Ethically.
The PLP wants an opportunity to get a second term. The FLM wants the opportunity to become the government. The COI wants an opportunity to be the royal opposition or the government. Everybody's looking for an opportunity. But if you keep on being distracted like we've been instructing to you and telling you, then you know what's going to happen to you? That COI may just become your worst nightmare because you're not focused and you're not united. You've got to get your act together. Stop pointing fingers, stop throwing stones. I have my life together. You are looking for this additional opportunity. You get yours together, but Shanique Miller, I want to thank you.
Additionally, get this. I have told the story of Mayor Guana and parts of Michael for years.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I have told the story of Grand Bahama for years. You have heard those stories. They were not complimentary to this administration.
No.
So therefore, when it's now turned and they are starting to be complimentary. I must not tell them, because now this government is actually hearing the people and addressing them.
You spoke about North Eleuthera?
Then North Eleuthera.
South Eleuthera.
I have gone to North Eleuthera and talk about the immigration problem and the fact that this administration has been sloppy with immigration in Harbour Island in particular.
You've been there, and Acklands with the generator.
All of it. Mayor gone in the airport.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, you all don't forget, Bahamians. Let me tell you where some of y'all are. You know what? Your memories are so short.
Very short.
But don't be selective here with me on this show. Remember, I'm the one who have addressed these things and given voices to so many people, whether it is to do with education and school shortage, whether it is to do with shoddy conditions in whichever family islands there are. And now the fact that so much is happening. North Eleuthera is getting the attention. Mycott is getting the attention.
Yes.
Grand Bahama is getting the attention, and so many other places. But I share that with you as well. And guess what? I applaud it because it's good news for the entire country and for your family members as well who live in these areas.
Yes.
And so I'm not going to hide these things, but I'm also not going to ignore the other things that are happening as well, particularly in this season. And so, Chance, let me know if we can go to Jose's story. If not, we will come back and we will lighten things up. I think I have another minute or so in this segment, so let's talk about it, right? New immigration director appointed today, William Pratt, the outgoing director of immigration, very vocal as he departs office, saying that trade unions, should not dictate what the department should look like. And that accusations from the F&M and COI are baseless. He had a lot to say as he demitted office. Jose Etienne has the story, and then we come back and talk about it.
In a rare interview with now former Immigration Director William Pratt, he broke his silence on raging claims levied by the Bahamas Customs and Immigration Allied Workers Union that his appointment in 2023 was unlawful. Government has consistently ignored growing opposition to that decision and at times defended it. Well, just before he rides into the sunset, Pratt is publicly pushing back against the union's grievances.
I didn't know that the court had that authority to tell the government who to appoint to run a department that is in the government's administration.
Pratt on the defense tonight, lashing out at the Deron Brooks-led union that waged war against his contractual appointment as immigration director 2 years ago. In a nutshell, the union said Pratt's reemployment was a blatant violation of a 2021 Supreme Court order which barred government from putting contract workers as head of the department. But not just that, Pratt is said to be over the retirement age, and critics say his appointment was a slap in the face to those who were qualified and able to ascend the ranks after former immigration director Kurtura Ferguson retired under controversial circumstances. Brooks has repeatedly argued that his gripe with Pratt isn't personal, it simply has to do with law and order.
This administration did what they felt they had to do and totally ignored that.
But Pratt was unyielding, and here was his response to Eyewitness News' question on whether that Supreme Court order was violated.
Not to me.
The veteran public servant is hanging up his boots at a time when the department finds itself embroiled in controversy once again, controversy that draws parallels to shocking allegations that surfaced when Pratt took over. Nonetheless, he says that had nothing to do with him passing the baton.
This is my personal choice. My contract officially ends on the 14th of November. Since the promotions are out, I told the government I don't need to complete the contract.
Now, while it is unclear whether Pratt's stepping aside could put the union's concerns and a filed trade dispute with the Labor Department to rest, the union says it welcomes the appointment of Stephen LaRota as the department's new chief.
Well, there you have it, William Pratt having a lot to say. You know, sometimes it was difficult to reach him. I imagine, of course, in the position, he could not say much, and maybe it was just focused on getting a lot of work done, but he really took a lot of hits during his tenure as Director of Immigration, Leslie and Garth, because you all remember the number of scandals from fraudulent passports and so many things happening. But he is saying, listen, his record is clean. He does not feel any which way that he was compromised, and he goes out feeling that way. But your thoughts on just, you know, all that took place in the fact that now there's a new person about to take the chair?
Mr. Miller?
First of all, we should welcome the new person who's now heading the Department of Immigration. I think we have a lot of faith in him. He's going to probably do a wonderful job. And you know, the former director really caught eternal hell for a few years, So many things was going on, not of his making, but what he had to deal with. And, you know, Bahamians are fickle people. You know, when you do your job and you try to do it right, someone's always going to attack you. It's like myself being on the show for the last few years with the good persons here. It's a privilege for me. And the one thing we have never done, in my opinion, we never lied on anyone, but we never lied for anyone. You know, if the government got to take a hit, you take the hit. The opposition didn't bother me. I got a lot of help from my colleagues in the Progressive Party. When I say things, I go, get your note ready and, you know, what can happen, be a better MP, be a better place, because our concern on this show is for the benefit of the Bahamian people, not the few.
Yes.
And that's all I'm concerned about. How do we uplift our people to make them better? Same thing with the gentleman who was leading our efforts in immigration. Most of us thought he did a stellar job. He did his best, and the unions can't dictate who the government chooses on behalf of the Bahamian people to do the job for the Bahamian people. That's done in another department. That's done by the other office, not the unions. So I really don't see a problem. We want to wish the gentleman all the best for his future and compliment the new gentleman who's there now, the gentleman who's there now, in doing a stellar job as his predecessor did. That's how life goes on. It moves, and we got to move with it. You know, you're always going to have people who are going to complain. That's our problem in this country. They complain about everything. If you do good, they complain. If you do bad, they complain.
Well, the thing is, this show isn't to focus on social media trolls. It never was. I'm going to stay focused, and I'm still going to tell you what's important to you and give you the truth of what's happening and how it's playing out politically. And when the mess and the screw-ups happen, you bet right this could be your headquarters to talk about it. I'm running from that, and we can give you the good news as well. Garth, quickly.
Well, definitely, as I said earlier on another show, immigration is going to be one of the top issues for us to decide who the next government is going to be.
No doubt about it.
And so therefore, that being a question mark in the minds of many people, this change is actually every effort to bring new energy to the Department of Immigration, possibly to adjust some of the issues that they have in there and correct them, and present a whole new lifespan for a new immigration situation.
Understand the former director for the job that he's done on behalf of the Bahamian people.
Absolutely. We don't say thank you enough.
Instead of criticizing all the time.
Well, listen, speaking of thanks, you all know, of course, the general election is in 2026. Well, listen, I'll tell you this. If the Parliamentary Registrar Department has its way, they will be rolling out a new voter's card. We'll talk about that when we come back right after this.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Now, this week, the country got a peek of a new voting system. The Davis administration is taking a major step towards modernizing how we vote. National Security Minister Wayne Monroe tabled legislation to introduce biometric voters' cards and electronic polling books ahead of the election. Now, of course, this was a big story this week. In fact, people are all over with that. Let's hear more from Devontae Hanna.
The country is set to be upgraded as government looks to remove outdated paper voters' cards in exchange for modern technology. National Security Minister Wayne Monroe, who has responsibility for the Parliamentary Registration Department, lamented that the transition is long overdue.
We'll introduce new biometric voter cards, e-poll books at polling stations, periodic voter verification exercises, and enhanced data security protocols.
Monroe tabled the new Parliamentary Act in the lower chamber Wednesday, revealing the changes will follow international best practices and a 2021 recommendation by the Organization of American States to digitize the process.
Eligible voters whose biometric data already exist with the Passport Office will have the option to consent to a secure data transfer, reducing the need for in-person enrollment.
The legislation also creates tougher penalties, up to $10,000 in fines or a year in prison for tampering with election systems. The new e-poll book, he hopes, will make it more difficult to do so.
Full encryption and contingency print backups, ensuring that systems work reliably even in challenging circumstances.
But the tabling of the bill did not come without a challenge from the opposition, who argues there is not enough time for consultation before the bill goes to debate.
It requires us to bring the nation along, not just to dictate to the nation what the changes would be.
That prompting a sharp response from the nation's leader.
We are not introducing a law on biometrics, you know. What we are introducing is the process under which we could get to biometrics. The law for biometrics was introduced by yourselves in 2020, but the member for Kalani called his election before you'll get it done.
Despite that, opposition deputy leader Shannon Cartwright reiterates that consultation is needed as the new cards will impact the entire electorate.
That every voter is going to have to give their consent for these biometrics to be transferred from one department to the next. Shows the great gravity of what we are going to be doing, and we feel that the way the government is approaching this, they're diminishing the gravity of this situation.
Debate on the new bill is expected to commence in the coming weeks. Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
Well, gentlemen, of course, you see that it's been a long time. I mean, we have always voted with that paper voter's card since independence or before. And so now is trying to move it forward. Your thoughts about what many people have so many differing views on, but I'll tell you this, and we discussed it in the newsroom, perhaps we need to do a more in-depth discussion and story about the fact that where do you find this sort of biometric system? It's everywhere already.
Now, passport, eh?
Passport, bank cards, and so on. There's just so many other areas in our lives already.
I don't know if Leslie Miller can speak to this, but your voter's card is actually an official national ID as far as I am concerned. We've had questions, like he said, with passport scams, and there's been some circulation that may be taking place. Will this now voter's card also have the same results? Are we going to start talking about some illegitimacy in terms of the issuing of these cards? We're still dealing with immigration issues. So Leslie Miller, I think it is a step in the right direction. We should not be afraid to bring this about. It's going to bring some level of efficiency. My personal concern is only that when this all goes to the mainframe system, I just want to know who is that person at the mainframe who's tallying these votes, who's saying who wins, who loses. So I do anticipate that in the first trial period, that there's going to be some questions as to whether this is actually an accurate mechanism.
But will the biometric system mean computerized? Like the computer will tally the votes? Is that what
it has to be tied to the computer somehow, because it has to recognize your thumbprint or your fingerprint or whatever print you're going to use, or if you're going to use eyes, it has to go through a mainframe system. And so systems can be breached, systems can be programmed. So you're going to get a lot of question marks, is what I'm saying, Shanique Miller, on the onset of issuing this particular system. But I do believe, like I said, that we'll have to work those kinks out when that time comes and give the public the assurance that this is the right way to go.
But now let's remember one thing now, even in the United States of America, Canada, and elsewhere throughout the world, when you cast your votes and the polls close at 6 o'clock,
yes,
they're still going to be counted with everyone in there, you know.
Yes.
The votes are still counted, so no machine going to count those votes. Human beings are going to physically count those votes to say who the winner is. I don't think that should be a problem, but I trust that the government makes sure that you have sufficient dialogue with the Bahamian voters, that they are fully in tune with what you're doing. It's a marvelous idea. It's long overdue, and we're one of the countries that doesn't have it. I think most of the Caribbean, Jamaica,
really?
Barbados, Trinidad, those have it in place, and we need to put it in place. But just be careful. Make sure that our people are well versed in what we're doing. Not only that, the people who are running the programs are also knowledgeable. I think it's high time it happens, but let's educate our people to the extent that they're not going to be afraid of it. They're going to like what is going on in their lives, because it's the most important decision we're going to make.
Well, I'll tell you this much. Shanique Miller hinted to it before, but if she's sitting there as the voice of this next general election, those results should be coming in more quickly, and your job should be more efficient, Shanique Miller. So you won't be out all night waiting for results to come in. I think it's going to be a very quick process, a very efficient process, and celebrations are going to happen early, as well as the sucking of teeth and the gnashing of teeth is going to also happen. But this, I think, is going to be marvelous.
Now, mind you, generally after the election, it starts at 6, and by 8 o'clock, you know who's who.
You know.
By 9 o'clock, it's done.
But the way we go to this election, Les, I think we know now.
Well, the thing is, we'll see. Exactly. We'll see. But again, this is a trusted. I'll tell you all, this is a trusted voice. This is a trusted platform. This platform plays no game. This platform, you heard me offer wonderful election packages. It's because also, and the political parties know about this. It's now the time of when you come on and you basically take out packages to get on the air and to push. Now, what you hear pundits, and that's what these are, pundits, contributors, and the rest of it, what you hear them say is totally different than what you would hear a candidate say. There's the difference. And again, the show still continues. We still talk about what's happening around the country. You see, also this week, I included the good news of Grand Bahama. And I was happy to share that after talking about what was so wrong in Grand Bahama all this time. And so this is what I'm saying. This is just know the difference. Just know the difference. There's no games and tricks here. And the social media trolls. Let's just come on, join in, and let's all talk together. And when you feel strongly enough, come on and say, Shanique, I want to have a show with you. And what I want to talk about with you is how you cover such and such, and I will talk to you about exactly how it's covered, because you see it, and when I don't talk about it, you wonder why. Speaking of, you all saw this week the very viral video again. I'll tell you this: I don't know who is the front man or front woman or maybe it's the entire Kalani constituency. I'm talking about Dr. Hubert Minnis. He broke the internet again, this time by exercising. Look, y'all, just to take a look. Dr. Hubert Minnis is getting into some serious shape for something, for some reason, for something. You listen, we all know he went viral a few weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, doing a food review on that curry fish. I love curry fish, by the way. Then he was running on the beach with young people and encouraging and inspiring them to listen, don't give up on what you think your version and interpretation of the Bahamian dream is. It's possible for you. Keep working hard. And then, of course, here's this video. Dr. Minnis working and pumping real iron in the gym. I don't see many politicians doing that, I'll tell you that. Dr. Minnis, how old is he, by the way?
He'll be
60-something.
Late 60s? He looks good. And I'll tell you, he has been working out for many years. I've seen him on sometimes when I used to work out in the Western District. But I'll tell you this again, Dr. Minnis ain't going nowhere. Whatever he is trying to get in shape for and working out for, he's intent on doing that. Your thoughts about this? And I understand this was a hit with everybody across the board. Whomever it is, people looked at it and they loved it, they laughed, they commented, and they had a good time with what he put out there this week.
Yeah, quickly, as we have watched Dr. Minnis right here from Beyond the Headlines, when he first had a meeting in Kalani, at the association meeting, and I went there, we made mention that he began taking on the appearance of an emperor, someone who's about to ascend. We saw a convention take place, he was defeated, but he has been consistent in his behavior. He's not shown any fear, any wear and tear. He's becoming stronger and stronger. He has mentioned to us that, and he even sang it, he sang for his supper saying, he's sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. He remembered you, but for 4 years you worried about him. And so now 4 years later, you have 17 people, you're not ready as yet, you still have infighting, there's still no unity, there's no sign of life in your organization, and Dr. Minnis is saying to you, I am pumping iron, I'm getting ready to put something on you, and you're saying, I'm mad with Shanique, I'm mad with Leslie, I'm mad with Garth, I'm mad with Renwood, I'm mad with Jamal Moss, I'm mad with everybody else, but you're never mad at yourself for not getting your act together. I'm so sick and tired of you. If you don't get your act together, you get what people like you supposed to get. I can't wait for election day. Biometric and all. Let's put our thumb to the print and make it happen.
It's good to see Doc waking out. He's keeping himself mentally and physically fit, while the other fellas are raising hell, especially his former leader, I guess. I got a call today from one of the former MPs, and it was so distressing that, in fact, his view was that the hate that is within the hierarchy of the F&M is so dangerous.
It's thick.
That it's scary. And for no reason, just because you're affiliated or been affiliated with Dr. Minnis, who elevated the leader now to his position and making him minister in his government. It's just unbelievable. The young man says, I can't take much of it no more. I'm really ready to walk away from it because it's a dangerous precedent that could be set. How are you going to have faith in someone that shows that level of hate for his former comrades? What would happen to the average, ordinary Bahamian if he goes after them? Who are they going to turn to? And that's what scares me. And I said over and over again, I'm afraid of this man. Something got to give.
Well, I'm happy to see him working out the way he's working out. Shanique has always encouraged everyone listening to be healthy. Take care of your body, improve your mind. And so, Shanique, I celebrate with you for another Bahamian who's taking his health into concern.
That's most important.
I'm going to turn the microphone back over to you because that is actually your strength.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely most important. And I'm happy you brought that aspect of what he's doing into this discussion. The fact that health and wellness, you all, is hugely important. I don't care what you're running for, how you're running, how long you've been running, how about actually run to get in shape and stay healthy and keep fit.
And while we're on this topic, could I please wish Dr. Norman Gay, a former Bahamian, a man who served 25 years in the House of Parliament, 25 straight. Minister of Health, 10 years. He's very sick at this time. I want to wish his precious wife and his children, who I just met on Wednesday, visiting him, and again last night, that God would bring him back to good health, and that those colleagues that he had in Parliament when we were there, could you please, I'm sure some, sort of support for a man that has done well for our country. And you talk about a man who was the embodiment of health.
Yeah, into health and
Dr.
wellness.
Norman Gay, eh?
Health and wellness is how old is he? But 80s maybe?
He's 82 now.
Health, the epitome of health and wellness. Yeah, absolutely. I thank you, gentlemen, very much. At the top of tonight's show, of course, BPL's chairman, Christina Alston, was here to help you understand and hopefully be able to make some changes so that your bill is lower at the end of this month, well, certainly August, right? Put those, please put those practices in play that she talked about. And of course, in this segment, I thank you very much, Leslie Miller and Garth Roseborough. Thank you all so much. And I thank you all week for hanging out. Even for those of you who say, Shanique, let's talk. We'll have those discussions as well. But I thank you all for tuning in. I love having you along, and I love to hear your opinions. They're fantastic. Let's just be balanced and fair in our opinions. But it's good to have you all hanging along. Thanks for hanging out all week, and I look forward to seeing you right back here on Monday evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a blessed weekend, everyone.